Stop everything right now. There is a name floating around the free agent market that should be dominating every single conversation in the Windy City, and it is not a two-time Pro Bowl cornerback. First team All-Pro, the man who in 2021 was stealing passes like he had GPS installed in his hands, 11 interceptions in a single season, and today he is available, free, no cost, and there is a connection to the Bears that makes this story far more interesting than it looks from the outside. In a minute, I am going to break down exactly why this could be the smartest signing of the summer and also why it could be the most dangerous one if Poles gets it wrong. But that is not the only thing moving inside Halas Hall. Because while the city debates the secondary, there is a receiver in navy and orange who spent the entire last season leading the team in every single advanced metric available, 7 out of 7, and most of you still do not know it. That player is about to explode, and I am going to show you the exact number that proves it and also the reason why the very same context that sets him free could hold him back if one critical piece does not fall into place. And at the end, there is a twist in the stadium drama that nobody in the City of the Wind saw coming this week. A senior advisor to the mayor said something publicly that changes everything, or at least that is what it looks like. Because there are still shoes that have not dropped yet, and when they do, they are going to make noise. All right, I need you to understand the full picture before you make up your mind, because this story has layers. Real layers. The Chicago Bears finished the 2025 season ranked 22nd against the pass. 22nd in a year where they won the NFC North and pushed deep into the playoffs. That means if the Bears want to take the next step, and all of us want that, the secondary has to get better. That is not optional. That is mandatory. Right now, the situation at cornerback opposite Jalen Johnson is, if I'm being completely honest with you, concerning. You have Tyreek Stevenson, who played poorly enough last season that his role got reduced mid-year. And then you have Malik Muhammad, a rookie coming in with potential, but a total unknown at this level. Fam, that is not the formula of a contending team. That is a known vulnerability that every offensive coordinator in the NFC is going to attack from the very first snap of the season. And then this name comes up, Trevon Diggs. I know what you're thinking right now, but hear me out, because before you dismiss this, let me build the full case, because there is one piece of this puzzle that makes Chicago the single most interesting destination for Diggs in the entire league. And that piece has a name, Al Harris. Al Harris is currently the defensive backs coach for the Chicago Bears. He came to Halas Hall in 2025, but before that, he spent 5 years in Dallas, 2020 through 2024, as the Cowboys defensive backs coach. And what were the two best seasons of Trevon Diggs' entire career? 2021 and 2022, the exact 2 years Harris was standing on that sideline coaching him directly. In those 2 seasons, Diggs was literally one of the best cornerbacks on the planet. 11 interceptions in 2021, 11, man, which made him a first-team All-Pro and earned him his first Pro Bowl. In 2022, he stayed dominant, made his second Pro Bowl, and Dallas locked him up with a massive contract extension because it looked like they had their number one corner for the next decade. And then came the injuries. A torn ACL in 2023 that wiped out his entire season. The comeback in 2024, that was never really the same Diggs. Dallas cut him late in 2025. The Packers picked him up, and he couldn't make an impact there either. Now he is a free agent, no team, posting workout videos on social media trying to show the league he is physically ready to go. Here's my real question. What percentage of the 2021 version of Trevon Diggs would show up if Al Harris, the man who understands his game better than any other coach in the league, works with him through a full training camp in Chicago? Look, I could be wrong on this one, but the connection between a player and the coach who got the absolute best out of him is not something you just ignore. There is chemistry, there is trust, there is a shared technical language. Harris knows exactly how to align Diggs in coverage, what leverage to use, how to set up the disguise that makes his game work. That kind of relationship does not get rebuilt overnight with any random team. And the cost of bringing him to Chicago, fam, is basically nothing. We're talking a veteran's minimum deal. If Diggs shows up to training camp and he is not at the level, you cut him, no drama, no salary cap pain. No consequences. You tried it. It didn't work. Move on. When is the last time somebody offered you an experiment with that kind of upside and that kind of zero risk? Logan Ulrich over at NFL Trade Rumors listed the Bears as one of the most logical landing spots for Diggs, right alongside Washington and the Buccaneers. And his argument is exactly what I am making right here. If there are injuries in the secondary depth, or if Stevenson and Muhammad do not perform at the level this team needs, Chicago needs a veteran who actually understands the game at the highest level. Diggs, even at 50% of his best, can be that guy. Now, should he be the day one starter opposite Jalen Johnson? No, that is asking too much given everything we have seen recently. But as a competitor inside the roster, as a veteran presence in that cornerback room, as a player who can step in when the team needs him and who already has the chemistry with the coach who knows him best in the building, that has real value. Concrete, measurable value. The Bears' secondary was a serious weakness in 2025. Dylan Thieneman, the Oregon safety Chicago took in the first round, comes in with real hype. Adding Kobe Bryant and Tremaine Edmonds in free agency shows this front office knows the defense needs work. But cornerback 2 is still an unstable position, and in the NFC, facing elite offenses week after week, and y'all don't understand how brutal that 2026 schedule looks. The toughest strength of schedule in the whole league, according to ESPN. You cannot afford to leave a known vulnerability sitting out there uncovered. Bring him in. Let him work with Harris. Let the competition raise the level of that entire cornerback room. If it works, you just added a valuable asset for zero investment. If it doesn't, you lost nothing. That man is exactly the kind of smart, low-risk, high-ceiling move that Ryan Poles should be seriously considering right now. And while we figure out the secondary, something is happening on the offensive side of this franchise that has me just as fired up, because the DJ Moore trade to Buffalo is not just a loss, it is an opportunity wearing the disguise of a setback. And the receiver who is going to take advantage of that opportunity more than anyone else on this roster is Luther Burden III. Look at the traditional numbers from last season: 47 catches, 652 yards, 2 touchdowns. Okay, that does not exactly scream future number one receiver, but here's the problem. You are reading the wrong story. Warren Sharp, one of the most respected advanced metrics analysts in professional football, posted something back in March that literally stopped me mid-scroll. Burden led every single Bears receiver and tight end in every single advanced metric available. EPA per target, number 1. Success rate, number 1. Yards per target, 10.9, number 1. Yards after the catch per reception, 7.2, number 1. Accurate target catch rate, 86%, number 1. Overall catch rate, 78%, number 1. Target share per route run, 25%, number 1. 7 metrics, 7 first-place finishes in his first professional season. That is not luck. That is an elite player profile that was being limited by volume, not by talent. And now that DJ Moore is no longer in Chicago eating those targets, that volume exists. It is sitting there unclaimed, and Burden is perfectly positioned to take all of it. Jacob Infante over at WCG put it straight. In the second half of last season, Burden was on pace for 1,000 yards in his rookie year with a limited target share. And what excites Infante the most is not just the raw numbers, it is the growth as a route runner. The route depth, the tempo variance, the ability to adjust to coverage in real time, that improved week by week as the season went on, and combined with his elite yards after the catch ability in open space, bam, we are talking about a combination that is genuinely difficult to defend in Ben Johnson's system, and the offensive line context makes Burden even more critical. The Bears had real questions up front heading into 2026. Drew Dalman retired unexpectedly. Rookie left tackle Ozzie Trapilo tore his patellar tendon in the playoff game against Green Bay and is going to miss most of the upcoming season. Garrett Bradbury and Jedrick Wills Jr. come in as former first-round picks who never lived up to their draft positions. If the running game takes a step back, and there are real reasons to believe it might, Ben Johnson is going to attack through the air more than he did in 2025. And when that happens, Burden is going to be right there waiting. And while all of that plays out on the field, There is a background story that is not going away anytime soon, but just got a brand new twist. This week, the future home of the Chicago Bears. Last month, the NFL Stadium Committee told the Bears that only two sites are viable, Arlington Heights and Hammond, Indiana. Case closed, apparently. But Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is not ready to wave the white flag. He has been actively using his political leverage to block an Illinois Senate mega projects bill that would give the Bears approximately $850 million in infrastructure spending and property tax relief for the Arlington Heights location. And this week, here comes the twist. Jason Lee, the mayor's senior advisor, said publicly that conversations between the Bears and the city of Chicago are not dead. He was careful with his words. He did not give details. But he said something that stuck with me. Quote, "There are a lot more shoes left to drop." The Bears spokesperson responded by reaffirming that Arlington Heights and Hammond remain the only viable options. And the NFL wants an answer before the Spring League meeting in Orlando this Tuesday. The clock is running. As a fan, I want them to stay in Chicago, the lakefront, the Windy City, that energy that no suburb can ever replicate. But I also understand the numbers have to make sense. Hammond has real geological problems, wetlands, a former industrial dump site, and Arlington Heights needs an entire legislative structure that the Senate is currently blocking. None of this is simple. What is clear is that this drama is not finished, and something major could happen before the summer is over. It is May of 2026. The draft is done, mini camps are firing up, and this franchise has more energy than it has had in decades. Caleb Williams leading the way, Ben Johnson on the sideline, Luther Burden ready to explode. A new stadium somewhere on the horizon, and now the possibility that Al Harris could help resurrect the career of one of the most naturally talented cornerbacks of his generation for essentially nothing. Navy and Orange is alive, fam. Bear down, tell me in the comments. Do you sign Trevon Diggs? Zero risk, possible huge upside. You make that call or do you pass? I want to read every single response. And if this video had you locked in, drop that like right now. Takes you 1 second and it means everything. Bear down, fam. See you in the next one.